Airaid's PowerAid Throttle Body Spacer is a nice way to spice up the looks under the hood of that S197 GT. Airaid also says that this little unit is going to improve the intake flow of your S197 thanks to the helical design that you see here, which in turn should result in some low-end torque gains. Now, install is very easy. I would actually say this is a very good first mod, so I'm giving this 1 out of 3 wrenches on my patented difficulty meter, and it should only take you about 20 minutes because all you gotta do is install it with these here bolts and washers. So, if you were wondering about the torque claims and the helical design, it's a pretty simple idea. By spinning the air coming into the intake, this is going to smooth airflow and allow that air to get to your cylinders quicker, which theoretically will improve torque. Now, I can't speak to personal experience, but you can see we have a lot of customer reviews and they do appear to back up this idea. Obviously, this is a physically small part here. We're not adding anything like an intake manifold, so you're not gonna see necessarily big numbers on a dyno run, but you might feel a little bit of a difference in that pedal. Now, this spacer also makes a pretty cool noise actually, so if you do like engine and intake sounds like I certainly do, I would definitely go with this option compared to the other two that we sell. I also particularly like this spacer because of how it looks. It's made from a very nice single piece of billet aluminum, and it's finished in a really cool red anodized coating, so it's just a nice way to add a little accent piece to that otherwise kind of boring and black and plastic engine bay. This spacer is 1 inch thick, so it is certainly noticeable once installed, as I will show you shortly. This throttle body spacer is our most expensive option currently when it comes to price, but you do get what you pay for. Our most affordable option from SR Performance is physically smaller and a little less flashy, and the AFE Silver Bullet is simply made from bare aluminum, and it doesn't have that helical inlet. Neither of those units will make that kind of cool sound that you might be looking for. Now, install is again super simple. Gets 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Again, should take you about 20 minutes. So we're actually gonna head over to our install bay and I can show you guys how to get this spacer installed. Okay, now we have our car in the bay. Like I said, this is a very easy install. To make this even easier, I'm gonna go ahead and remove our intake tube from our throttle body. I'm gonna disconnect this clamp here using a flathead screwdriver. All right, now with our intake tube out of the way, we've exposed the 4 bolts holding the throttle body to the intake manifold. We're gonna go ahead and disconnect our 2 sensors here, and then we're gonna remove those 4 bolts so we can get our throttle body spacer in place. All right, now that our throttle body is disconnected from the vehicle electronically, we're gonna remove it mechanically. You're gonna need an 8mm socket and a little bit of an extension there to get to the 2 bolts underneath. Now that we've removed the nuts and bolts from our throttle body and our intake manifold, we actually have to remove these 2 bottom studs here because they're not long enough to accommodate our new throttle body spacer. Now there's a really easy trick to do this. Go ahead and take the 2 nuts you removed from the bottom, double them up on each other, get them nice and tight, and then as you turn those 2, that'll give you leverage to remove those studs from the intake manifold. So again, we're going to take both of those nuts we removed. We're going to put them on the bottom stud here. We're going to snug them up with each other. And the goal is to make this closest one tight so it won't move when we turn it. And then you want to go ahead and tighten him up. Now that he's tight, we're going to put our wrench on this closest one, and that's going to give us the leverage we need to remove the stud itself.
Okay, now that we have the studs removed, we are good to install our new throttle body spacer. Now, there's a certain way you want to go about this. The way I'm going to go about it, which is easiest, is to install all 4 new bolts and washers to the throttle body, followed by the gasket itself, followed by the spacer. But before we do that, we're going to quick wipe down our throttle body. We're also going to wipe down our intake manifold, make sure we have some nice clean surfaces so that there's no leaks. All right, now that we have our throttle body, our gasket, and our spacer all set up, we're going to go ahead and put it back on the vehicle. So we got everything lined up and hand tightened with our new 10mm hardware. We're going to go ahead and tighten it down now. Okay, now our throttle body is installed with our new spacer. The last step is reconnecting all those electronic sensors as well as our intake tube. Okay, so as you might have seen on the product page, Airaid says that the whistle says it's working. So now that we have our throttle body spacer installed, we're going to go ahead and give it a couple of revs so you can hear the comparison and you can hear the sound for yourself. Okay, so with our electrical connections and our intake tube reinstalled, that actually wraps up our review and install. Go ahead and enjoy that new throttle response, that new sound, and those cool looks under the hood. I'm Travis, thanks for watching, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.